English American Literature 2, Heart of Darkness 2, Unit 2. Let us talk about the main themes in the novel. The first theme is colonialism. All the events take place in Belgian Congo, and this place is full of people with greed, and they are very cruel for natives. So we see the hypocrisy of the colonial effort in the novel. So it's a kind of mask for stealing wealth of Africa. And the natives had been through physical death and devastation, whereas white men, the Europeans, go through damage for their souls. So both sides are affected badly from the ideals of colonialism. And with the theme of colonialism, Conrad in this novel criticizes Western way of thinking. Another theme in the novel is racism. We see in a novel that there is the mass destruction of black people by white men in the African Congo. So the darkness in the novel is a kind of truth cloaked in whiteness, and it represents a kind of hollowness for especially the European men. The corruption by Europeans is in the foreground in this novel, and the white men, Europeans, do not treat blacks as human beings, but rather as slaves, and they see them as savages, and they need to be civilized. That's why their mission is to bring civilization into their own country. However, white men become savages through greed and corruption in the novel. The third theme is the darkness. It is the theme that gives the novel its name, Heart of Darkness. So we sense darkness throughout the novel. The atmosphere is dark, the continent is dark, people are dark. So darkness is everywhere in the novel and it symbolizes the unknown. And actually, although the people's complexion, the atmosphere is dark, savage actions of white men are darker than the place. So darkness in the novel is used to cover some brutal actions of the white men. So this darkness theme is in stark contrast with the white clothes, but in parallel with their inner selves. So it is their heart which is dark, not their clothes or their outlook. And when we have to talk about setting and tone, there are two main settings in the novel. The main setting is the African Congo, in which all events take place, and the other one is the Both Nelly, which is on the Thames River in London. So these are parallel scenes, Congo River and the Thames River. So we can make comparisons between uncivilized Congo and civilized Europe at the same time. And so we can conclude that darkness is not only in Africa but in Europe as well. The tone of the novel is mainly cynical, pessimistic, and sarcastic. How about the point of view in the novel? There are two narrators. One is an unnamed narrator on the boat Nelly on Thames River, who is telling us the actual story, making it a kind of framework for it. And the other one is Marlowe telling his own experiences he had been through in the African Congo. And this unnamed narrator especially helps us to see story frames and understand a real darkness in characters. And there are also some symbols in the novel which you have to talk about to understand and analyze the novel in a better sense. The first one is the Congo River. Congo River is actually only way to access the heart of Africa. It's a kind of key, symbolizes a kind of key. So through this river, the characters go through their inner voyages so that everyone has darkness and everyone has an access, a key to see darkness throughout this river. Another symbol is ivory. Ivory symbolizes white man's greed and his destructive manners, especially in Africa. It also symbolizes loss of human values. The Sparkle City is in any kind of imaginary city, which is in Brussels, where there is the headquarters of the company. The city symbolizes civilization and death, Why? Because it is white and beautiful outside, but it hides a kind of horror inside. So there is a biblical reference throughout this city in the novel as well. One other symbol is Mr. Kerr's painting. In this painting, a blind woman was described carrying a lighted torch. And women in this painting is a symbol for Europeans in the dark continent, whereas the torch symbolizes European values and customs. And in general, this painting gives us the message that white people are not aware of what they are really doing in this black continent. They seem to carry civilization with them, but instead they are not. Another symbol is a candle on the steamship. Marlowe carries this candle, and it is a symbol of Kerr's losing his fight for his life. And at the end, when Marlowe blows this candle, we understand that Kerr's is dead. General manager stands for a kind of symbol other than being one of the characters in the novel. General manager symbolizes the immortality of European colonization and selfishness. Curse is one of the main symbols. He is representing the dark side of the inner spirit because when he was in Africa, he forgot his values and morals, ideals, and he became a kind of savage and fanatic at the end. However, when he was about to lose his life, he realized his mistakes at the end. Women in the novel were used as a symbol to represent escape from truth and hidden hypocrisy of white men. There are the symbols of dark and white used in contrast with each other. White is symbolizing blindness, especially with the white thick fog covering around a steamboat, for instance, whereas dark represents a primitive heart of man. So that's the end of this unit.